What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Kentucky Derby update right here at racingdudes.com. Well, I kind of said last week, we'll have a lot to talk about this week, and we do. So what we'll do, we'll recap what happened with the Stars of Tomorrow 2 card at Churchill Downs, at least recap the three horses I thought were kind of significant. So we'll take a look at that. We'll do the updated top five. There is a new top five list, or at least one horse in the top five now. And then we'll take a look at what's going to come up this week with the Remsen. And there is a full preview of the Remsen out on racingnews.com right now, so you can check that out. And we'll kind of go over it, quickly as well on this one. All right, let's recap what happened last week. I'm just going to go ahead and put it up on the screen now for you. Some of the horses I wanted to talk about that ran on the Stars of Tomorrow 2 card. Let's start out with Boyd, the Bob Baffert trainee, who was able to win the Ed Brown Stakes. That was race 4, and that starts tomorrow 2 card. I've got it up on the screen for you now. Was able to beat Big Dom and Stradale, just a field of 4, so didn't take on much. Kind of, Boyd kind of took on a Santa Anita type field here, which is kind of funny when you think about it. Look, I thought he was very good. I honestly thought he was probably the best performance on the card. When we talk about Boyd, I thought, look like a nice sprinter going 6.5 furlongs. I do think the horse can stretch out a little bit. Didn't look like he was like fully extended. I don't know about 1.25 miles, but I do think this is one to keep an eye on now for Bob Baffert. Flavian Pratt Road here. Just kind of stalk the pace, pounce at the top of the stretch. Easy win. Really just was much the best in this one. So wanted to point him out first. A horse I do think has a future that looks pretty bright. 2 races, 2 wins, looked pretty strong. I really wasn't impressed with much else on this card until you get to the last couple of races. So let's go ahead and talk about the Kentucky Jockey Club. A race won by Further Ado. You can see paid, a little over $340 to win, so 3 to 5, and I guess won like a 3 to 5 shot. You never were too concerned. But didn't blow you away either. Turning for home, it was the number 4 Soldier and Diplomat that had the lead. He was looking pretty strong. Further Ado was coming up beside him. Further Ado kind of a little bit further off the pace than he was in that maiden win last time out. He was kind of sitting in 4th/5th, just a few links off, kind of in a not really a stalking position, kind of a mid-pack almost, a little upper mid-pack, I would say. Looked like a horse that was going to really do great. He turned for home. He got kind of up to the throat of Soldier and Diplomat, and then just kind of had a battle on his hands. And I think he kind of was just struggling a little bit. I do think he got an education. I think he was learning how to pass a horse that wasn't quitting. And so I do think that's a good thing. But Soldier and Diplomat, I think he kind of got by him because Soldier Diplomat, I don't really think he wants to go 1.16 miles. I think he's more of a 7 furlong type of horse. And he gets by him. The number 7 Universe is flying late to get second. And I think Universe looked like he was flying because those horses up front were pretty tired. Soldier Diplomat, I think, was tired. I think the number 6 Further Ado was kind of tired as well. I didn't love this race, to be quite honest with you. I did love his maiden special weight 2 races back. This one was just okay. It was a good win. You're never going to be too down on a win, especially a Kentucky Derby prep race win. Also, I think that, hey, kind of come back down to earth a little bit after that maiden, kind of get back to a normal effort. I could see it. There's things about it there that kind of I'm trying not to be too hard on him. I guess what I'm trying to say. I could see why he maybe didn't run quite as well, but I didn't think it was a great race from him. I think he can build off it. Don't write him off, that's for sure. I do think he's a horse we're going to have to take an eye on, but didn't look anything like that maiden special weight win visually. Analytically, he dropped 17 buyer points. He had 98 to an 81. Again, I don't really know what that means or, if that's even really a relevant data point, but I don't know. He looked like he ran a weaker race, and, the numbers say he did as well. But again, he's a 2-year-old. He just won a Kentucky Derby prep race. He's won 2 races in a row going 1.16 miles. He could certainly come back next time and maybe run as good as that maiden, or maybe split the difference and win again, right? Say he runs a 90 buyer next time out. Well, probably going to win a prep race down at, I would assume, Fairgrounds, Oaklawn, one of those two. So, look, just wasn't blown away by him. That's all I'm saying. And then finally, a horse I thought was a pretty good maiden special weight winner. Cannoneer, the 8 horse in the 12th race, a 7 furlong event here. another horse, that I thought was very good. Another horse ridden by Irad Ortiz, another horse trained by Brad Cox. So I thought Cannoneer was solid in this spot. Kind of ran away from the competition. I don't really know what was in the race. I've stated my big thing for 2025/26 when we get into 26 for the Derby Chase is I'm not going to go nuts over these maiden races and think they're just amazing. Because a lot of times they don't really come back to do much. So I'm not going to rank horses all that highly until I see him against Stakes Company. And so we'll see on Cannoneer. I do think he's got a bright future, though. And the next race, am I going to bet him? Maybe we'll see what goes on, but and who's in the race and where he goes. But as far as like going over the moon about him, no, not really. But I thought he was a very good effort and a very good maiden special weight win. I thought it was the best maiden on the card, the best non-stakes on the card. That went to Cannoneer for sure. I should mention 85 buyer for Boyd. I forgot to mention that. I'll go up to him once more here. 85 buyer for Boyd. And again, I thought he ran good. I thought again, it's hard to judge him for the Kentucky Derby because it was another sprint race, but it looks like to me he's ready to go a little longer. And we'll just kind of have to see as he goes down the road here how he stretches out and how he does. So that's kind of what I thought of last week. Let's go now to the top 5. We'll go through this very quickly. And number 5 will be Further Ado. Further Ado will debut on the top 5 list here. I honestly kind of thought he would be a little bit higher before they ran the race. I also am not going to sit here and just be like, oh, he's terrible. I just didn't think it was that good of a race, right? But it was a win. I think he deserves to be in the top 5 after a win. I think there is potential for him to run a better race next time out. So I'm not really down on him, but I think number 5 is the right spot. Number 4 is Incredible. And I actually think Incredible kind of gets flattered a bit by what happened to Kentucky Jockey Club because he beat a horse named Universe last time out in the street sense. Universe ran second in the Kentucky Jockey Club, so that kind of backs up that form. So Incredible, number 4 for me. We'll see where he lands next, but I've got him at number 4 this week. Number 3 is Mr. AP. Horse obviously ran second in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, so got him up there for another week. Number 2, Napoleon Solo. Interesting for him, and we'll talk about him in a second. Of course, he's 2 for 2. He won the Champagne last time out. The horse he beat in the Champagne, his name is Talkin. Talkin's going to run in the Remsen. Napoleon Solo beat him by 6.5. If you see Talkin win the Remsen, that's a good feather in the cap there for Napoleon Solo. And then finally, of course, number 1, Ted Noffey, 4 for 4, winner of the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, 3 straight Grade 1 victories for him, the hopeful, the Breeders for Charity, and the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, clearly number 1 once again. All right, review it real quick. Number 5, Further Ado. Number 4, Incredible. Number 3, Mr. AP. Number 2, Napoleon Solo. And number 1, Ted Noffey. All right, let's go to this weekend. What's coming up? I've got it up on the screen for you now, guys. I am super excited about this race. Now, I was excited last week, and I didn't think it was a great race. It was okay. I'm super excited for this race as well. I'm excited to see what happens. Field of 12 for the Remsen Stakes and a couple of horses, Paladin and Renegade, coming out of a maiden special weight, where Renegade hit the wire first, but Paladin ended up getting the win. Renegade got disqualified. They hit the wire, nose bobbing there. It was a great race. I am very excited for these two horses moving forward. The number 6 Courting is a $5 million purchase that broke the maiden last time out at Aqueduct. It looks like 1.8 miles is what that horse needs. So I'm excited to see how that one runs. I mentioned Talkin, the 11 horse, who's going to stretch out again after a nice maiden win and then second in the Champagne. This is an exciting race. And I think what we're seeing still, you got Ted Noffey and the rest of them just kind of, we don't know. We're kind of just mixing and matching. So I just feel like this is an opportunity in another week here where we could get another contender to start to kind of emerge, step up, or whatever you want to say. So I'm excited for this race. I think this is a great field for what we have right now with this crop. And I think the more I watched that maiden with Paladin and Renegade, the more I really liked it. And I'm excited. I don't know, watch the Remsen Stakes video. I'll tell you, I'm going to pick to win. Might be right, might be wrong, with my opinion there. But I just kind of feel like one of those two horses are going to win this one. They're going to be pretty good. And I think we've got some nice ones here. I love that this race is 1.8 miles too. A lot of times you get horses that don't really want to go 1.8 miles and they're in here anyway. there's really good long distance pedigrees in here. So I think this is going to be a very productive race. Hey, the Remsen sometimes gets a bad rap. Lately, it hasn't been too bad. We may go to the end of the day and go, well, that was terrible, but I don't think so. I think we're going to have a good race. So I'm excited for this one. All right, that'll do it for this Kentucky Derby update. Next week, we will break down what happened in the Remsen. We'll also talk about anything else that happened throughout the weekend with Maiden special weights, and we'll look ahead. I believe the Los Alamitos Futurity will be next weekend, so we'll look ahead to that as well, and we'll have an updated top 5 for you as well. All right, guys, that'll do it for this video. Hit that like button if you like it. Hit subscribe if you really like it. Want to get alert anytime we do videos like this. And most importantly, tune in next week for another Kentucky Derby update.